You're listening to Amazing Radio. This is Amazing Afternoons. I'm delighted to say we have Sweets on the line with us right now. He's also supplied a wonderful couple of session tracks as well. Sweets, it's nice to finally speak to you because I feel like we've been playing your music for a few years now, and we've never done this.
Yeah, good to meet you as well, mate. I really proper appreciate all that you and Amazing have done for me, and yeah, you have been showing support since day one, since like no one else really even cared. So thank you.
It's all good, and we know in that time over the last couple of years, we've seen you evolve as an artist. I guess you've grown up and had more life experiences. Is it all about life experiences and with your art, Sweets? Is that the expression we get from your music?
I think I've always loved like truth and honesty, and like especially with rap music, there's a lot of people who just I think it like if it's good for the craft as well if you can just brag a little bit and blow things out of proportion a little bit. And I think in some ways that's good. Like Action Bronson does it so well. Like he'll just make up little fantasy worlds. But like a lot of rap music and a lot of rappers that I know, they'll kind of rap from a place that isn't really them, and it's just like bragging about all the girls that they're with and all the weapons that they own or whatever, which is just, but that never really resonated with me. And I just wanted to write from a place of like getting stuff that was inside me, like for real out. So I think my music specifically does come from like life experiences and just stuff. I've always been writing so that I can express stuff that I struggle to communicate with people, I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
from a flow point of view, that all makes sense in the lyrical content, but also there's definitely a mindset there of, first of all, an understanding of the heritage of music. You can tell you've got a wide, spectrum of what you've listened to and what you've been brought up on as well. And I think that maybe sets you apart as an artist as well, particularly in your genre, because I think that some of the best producers in hip hop are people who appreciate all different genres of music. And I think that's what sets you apart a little bit. And I think that's why I'm a little bit excited about when I get a Sweet single in my inbox, because I know there's going to be some kind of organic, it's not like, front and center, but it's all in there. Would you say you have a broad width of your record collection? You're taking inspiration from everything there. That's what I'm getting anyway.
Yeah. No, you've hit the nail on the head. I've got like a really, really broad interest in music, like everything from like art pop and like Charlie XCX and PC music to like Sex Pistols and punk and soul music. I love soul music a lot, but it's like I find that I like music that I have no idea how to do it. Like I feel like rap was like my passion back in the day, and then I strayed away from it the more I learned how to do it. I think because I think when you learn how to do something, you stop feeling it as much, and you kind of think about it like logically. So like I've always just gone to like new kinds of music through that. I think maybe I don't know if that sounds yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes complete sense. So, what was it which ignited your passion for rap music then? I mean, you could draw some comparisons with UK rap music, but was it the stuff coming over from America which really ignited your passion for it?
Yeah, it's always been American rap for me. I love like Loyal Corner. I love his storytelling and his voice and the way he's like so openly like sensitive and soft. But it's always been like from American rap music. Like I grew up, my dad was obsessed with like Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar, things like that. So I think I grew up on like Kanye, Kendrick, and then I started just finding like the underground of American rap music on my own, and then getting like proper obsessed with it. Like I've always been a kid who's like obsessed with like one thing at a time, and then like put my all into it and don't shut up about it. And for like a really long period of time, that was like Chance the Rapper and Childish Gambino and Kanye West and Kendrick Lamar, and I'm lucky that it's like panned out and I can like do it myself as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are artists which kind of, I mean, particularly a couple of those ones you mentioned, they kind of reinvent themselves on new records and they show different sides to themselves, especially something like Kendrick, for example. And I mean, is that what you see yourself doing? As you move through your career, have you got passion to make a record and then leave it as a line in the sand and then move on to the next thing? Is that what you would love to do?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've always loved that about, like, I know it's like silly to sing Kanye's praises now, but I've always loved that about Kanye, the way that each body of work and each era is like a whole different like world or whatever. So and I think I'm already doing that a little bit. Like, I make such a broad range of music, like all my unreleased stuff. It's like I couldn't really release it together because there's loads of like JPEG Mafia, like electronic-y, like bleep bloops and stuff. And then there's those like punk music with like live bass and guitar. So like I think already my unreleased catalog is gonna have to be like boxed into like different projects with different like branding and different the same way that like Kanye and Childish Gambino have done it. So yeah, I think just naturally that's happened to me.
It's excellent. It's exciting. There's so much more to come. But you've already given us a couple of tracks. I think we should talk into the first one now. Let's go with Telephone first. All right. First of all, explain who the people around you are and where you went and recorded this session for us.
Yeah. So the other rapper, he's like my best friend. He's called Finners, and he's great. He's just got like a really like silky, like Loyal Cornery delivery. And I think it kind of like contrasts my shouty delivery quite well. And then I made it with a producer called Chris Diggett. And for that one, I kind of just really wanted to like copy Loyal Corner in a sense, where it's just like really soft, sensitive, like introspective, just like put everything out on the table, which is like really therapeutic for me as well. And the way that Loyal Corner does it, its structures are like really simple. It's just like introspective verse, pretty chorus, introspective verse, pretty chorus, introspective verse, pretty chorus. So that's what I wanted to do, and I think it worked.
It certainly did work. Let's hear it now. This is Telephone, session for us from Sweets on Amazing Radio.
Chill. I know that I was acting out of character. Thought you knew me better than letting out all your stamina. Whatever the weather, reckon I'd stand with you, but all they took was balance and challenges, and you'd had enough. I did some things that don't align with me. I thought you'd notice I was acting out of fear. I was broken, I was hopeless, I was gasping for the air. Always saw the best in me until it wasn't clear. No one wants to leave a situation with the anger, with the hatred, but it's easier than pain sometimes. And I can see that everybody was only trying, but it's hard cause my emotions run away sometimes. Know that we could never be the same, but still the days we spent together in my head are when we play sometimes. In the park, linking arms, chasing cars, crazy how you'd even spot that out of the grey sometimes.
I walk by myself, I'm a stranger on my ghost. I'm beside myself, way too much telephone.
Funny how it comes around, money's in my pocket now. Tired in misbelieving, but the ceiling feel it coming down. Hiding in the rubble, there's no trouble when I'm underground. Keep it in your shoulder, guess it's best when there's no one around. It's hard to not feel the guilt, the only thing I know is real. Tired of making changes, why you think it's me to sell? Read it though, don't break my heart, yo, keep it still. And I'll play my part until you need to go. Fist bites, love bites, missed us, some mans. The bottles in my bloodline, your soul is so sublime. But being in love, please don't leave me bleeding, cause tonight might be the night that these demons finally eat me up. Funny when it goes, the they only fucking with you on the dead smoke and spit, yeah, funny guess I'm over it. I love the day ones, the fake ones don't owe me shit,
Walk by myself, I'm a stranger on my ghost. I'm beside myself, way too much telephone.
ADHD, I couldn't even hold the school down. But I'm in disbelief, I couldn't hold you down. Lockdown, I had it dying in my zoo now. Emotions running wild, all the shame around and flew out. I'm too proud, I'm too quiet, I'm too loud, I'm too fake, I'm too sound, I'm too real, I'm too clouded by my feelings. Grounded on the ceiling, when I get you on the phone, emotions go bulimic. Pleading with you, I was in way too deep, I was down at your feet. Summer rains, autumn leaves, winter came without you calling. Tidied up your portion, even after all, I hope I see you when it's warmer. It's human nature, funny when it goes to shit. Fakes go running and the real ones stick on. Stay tough through the fire and the blitz. Find my friends at the bottom of a pit.
I walk by myself. I'm a stranger, I'm a ghost. I'm beside myself. Way too much headphones.
Funny when it goes to face go running and the real one stick on. Stay tough through the fire and the bliss. Found myself at the bottom of a pit, yeah. When it goes to face go running and the real one stick on. Stay tough through the fire and the bliss. Found myself at the bottom of a pit, yeah.
So that was Telephone here in session for Amazing Radio. We've got Sweets on the line still as well. We've got another track to give you in a moment. But yeah, we're playing a track called Fireplace of yours on rotation at the moment. I just want to get an idea of how you write and record at the moment, because you must have over time write and record in different spaces and places. But what's happening right now? What's the process right now?
So right now, I've tried my hand at like production in the past, and then I kind of got to this point where I was meeting producers who are like so good at what they do that they can kind of just make my vision come to life, and they're just like 10 times better at it than I'll ever be. So my preferred way of doing it is like these producers that I really respect and love. I'll just go and book in days in the studio with them and just work with them. I kind of like co-produce it, but just like telling them what I want. So I kind of just London or Manchester, and then we'll write in session. So they'll make the instrumental, and I'll give them pointers, and then I'll write it at the same time as they're making the beat.
Cool.
Yeah, which I love, because then I can have like full control almost of the structure and the songwriting at the same time.
Oh, it's good. It's a good place to be. And are these people who you've become friends with as well along the way? Is any of them, you're based in Manchester now, is that right? What's the scene like there at the moment? Is it a good, vibrant scene?
It is, it's so I've been at university in Manchester, music university. So it kind of like I met a lot of musicians in very quick succession, like straight away, because I started 4 years ago in first year, and then and slowly just like the musicians who kind of wanted to do things outside of music would like drop off, and then the most talented people with like, or the most driven people with a lot of potential, like continue doing music. And because it's so far down the line now, it's just like my friend group is like me and like 15 people who are like really, really driven and really, really talented, and actually have like the possibility of like doing music as a career. So and it's all people who I respect, like Luke Royalty and Thieves. I don't know if you've ever played Thieves, and Manta.
Yeah.
Manta.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like this sick little like group of like 15 of us who are just like really talented and really driven.
That's cool.
And
That's good to hear.
Those of little venues as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would the venues be where you would tend to play or hang out? Where's hot in Manchester at the moment?
So playing wise, I think there's loads of like little ones, loads of like 150 cap ones, which have just like created some class memories. But like hopefully over the next year or two, it'll be more like 300 cap, 400 cap.
Yeah.
And then so it's like Fuel is one of my favorites, which is one in Withington, which is just like a little vegan cafe with like a really vibey room upstairs. There's one called Off the Square, which like puts on young rappers a lot for like really cheap. Like you can hire it out for like £100 for the night if you're like showcasing like young talent. I hope that I've not like put that out into the world when it's just a deal they've done. Like, but, and Castle Hotel is one that me and Luke headline, which is great. Night and Day is great. But yeah, hopefully, I think we're looking at more like Deaf Institute, Gorilla, and stuff like that. It's mad. Like compared to Newcastle, there's like 250 cap venues where like small musicians can realistically play, and in Manchester there's like 30 or 40. So it's like it's the perfect place to like move to if you want to be a musician, I think.
No, nice. I'm sure there'll be people listening want to take you up on that as well. So you've got this other track as well. You've done a session for us. It's called "All My Heroes." I was quite taken back when I heard this track because it's obviously a very personal song lyrically, but it's a bit of a motivational track as well to a certain extent. That's what I got from it as anyway, and it's just real. But it really, it's totally delivered in your own unique way. It's got all the hallmarks of a good sweet single. It's it's real. It's really real, and it goes back to what you first said. You said you always sing about the truth. Tell us a little bit about this track. Is this something you've had for a while? This track, and then you've done another brilliant version for us.
Yeah. So I've had that All My Heroes for quite a long time. Like I think I wrote it like over a year and a half ago, maybe even 2 years ago. And I wrote it over one of the COVID lockdowns. Actually, it was actually a really hard track to write. Like I was giving myself, I was like staying with my girlfriend and my house was empty. So I was going back to my house for like a week at a time and just like dedicating myself to writing. And I had that concept because I grew up with like a group of friends in school who all like there was about six of us, and over the following years after school, all six of us had like clinical mental health issues or addiction issues. And so it was like, to me, it was like, okay, what's going on here? Is this something that is new to our generation? Was this the same for my parents, or is it just because like I'm with this like susceptible group of people? But then like I wrote that song from the perspectives of two of my best friends who I had like this really intimate look into their mental health struggles, and I was like really one of the people that was there for them throughout it. um so it took me like nearly like 2 weeks of solid writing to write, and just remembering all the conversations I'd had with them and all the phone calls I'd had with them at the worst periods and stuff like that, and trying to put their pain into words for them. And so that's the first two verses is one of my friends, and then another one of my friends talking to me, and then the last verse is like my response to them. And would you like me to turn that off?
That's fine. It's cool because I think the content of what you're saying is quite poignant. So I'm interested to hear the full story.
Yeah. So where was I?
The third verse you were going to say.
The third verse is me talking back to them, and a little bit about my experience with mental health as well, because I really struggled as well as a teenager. Um, and it was a lot around drug use and addiction, but I also think that there's a big component that social media has to play for people my age, because we started adolescence at the time when social media became huge, and all of a sudden we're all addicted and we're over consuming and we're comparing, our popularity is like quantified by a number, and no one really has any idea what the effects are or what to do about it. And we were all addicted. Like it was like, and my kids in their teens today are still all addicted, and it's definitely going to have like an effect on developing brains. And I think that it might be one of the sort of causes of the mental health epidemic.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, I wrote that song um, from like the two perspectives of my best friend, put their pain into words. And then when I was in the studio, I was like, oh, it's like such a sad song, but I've kind of got some perspective on it because we've kind of come out the other side now. So then that's where I got like the motivational thing, like you said, that bit of spoken word at the end is just a kind of little poem on how to approach it. And it's like, open the doors to the light. When you're closed, you're the judge, you're the jury, but it's too dark to see. And it's just because, especially one of those two friends, he'd never ever opened up to anyone about the fact that he was suffering. And I think that it's just like important. And I always like to do it as if I'm talking to someone my age who's like going through something similar, So yeah, I think it's just important to let people know that if you keep it inside, it's only gonna like spiral and snowball.
No, it's amazing. Let's hear it now. This is All My Heroes, Sweets in session for us here on Amazing Radio.
This song is a song that's very personal to me. It's a song I wrote from the perspectives of two of my best friends from back home and my response to them at a time when we were growing up and we were all struggling with our mental health. It's called All My Heroes, and it goes out to anybody who might be feeling anything similar. You've changed a lot, is it sweets now? Crazy that you're maybe gonna make your fucking G's proud. Since year 9 you've been flowing, I admire that devotion. Back in school we were always smiling, we were joking, but you didn't know that I was going home and I was choking on a vodka bottle. No one I could open up to, no one taught me how. Until that night we took them pills and we cried, guess we finally fucking let it out. The other evening I was looking through my memories and thinking that it's kinda weird that we've been smoking weed and getting drunk for 4 whole years when we were 17 and never second thought about it. Busy chasing after clouds and empty baggies. I beg you don't forget about me. You ran away and found our stage, but I stayed with these same old sessioners, never asking questions, just self-medicating and pretending like we're having fun. So tame, ketamine and cocaine. Bugs became a habit, I would sell it so I don't pay. Couple ounces, couple weeks, couple benders wouldn't sleep. Couple nights where I would weep just thinking about what should have been. I never let my tears fall, thought they wouldn't make a sound. Think you can do it, brother, keep on trying, make us proud. Just keep on trying, make us proud. Things haven't been the same since secondary school. We didn't even know the world was this heavy. We'd see a penny, pick it up. Love it that you're having luck, I wish that I could say the same. I haven't really felt the same since we started taking drugs. Pay the price for all that love every day, locked up in my room where I know it's safe, but it ain't. Demons on my walls take the center stage. I see your Instagram, you're Superman with Lois Lane. Everybody's doing fine, everybody's doing great. Everybody's got their likes, everybody's got their mates. I'm happy that you found somebody, honestly I miss the chase. How come I can't even leave the house without this fucking pain? Every time I hear my phone belling, it says I love you and I hope you're doing better. Meaning every conversation's heavy, please alleviate this pressure. I wish this fucking elephant would leave the room forever. Everything that made me happy, everything that took me home, left me in the black of night and left me fighting all alone. Knots inside my stomach, vomit crawling on my fucking throat. I tried to take my life and left you on the fucking phone. Just keep on trying, make us proud. Just keep on trying, make us proud. I miss you boys, I miss those days we used to spend together, rolling up on park benches, when the only disincentive sparking up in car parks. Over yards and fences, hardly got our cards worth, still wanted to live forever. I wish we left it, but he wouldn't let us. Dragon had a plan and wasn't gonna let us leave already. 3 addictive personalities with their feet in this bear trap that takes so many 100,000 pounds of pressure. Now every time I'm dropping you a text it says I love you and I hope you're doing better. Wonder if I'm trying so hard to be a good friend, because I rolled your joints and rocked your lines, applying peer pressure. Blaming other kids cause mum was jumping to believe it. Little did she know I was the fucking ringleader. Guess she needed to believe her own son wouldn't deceive her. Jesus, don't get me started on this social media. Happy in these pictures, doing what I love. Trust I'm battling with the bad days and I'm battling with the crutch. Likes are just a cheap and only substitute for love. I need that childlike wonder if we spent it all on drugs. Keep on trying, make us proud. Just keep on trying, make us proud. Just keep on trying, make us proud. Just keep on trying. something wrong. Busy with our worries, deep inside our mud. You have to let it out. Let the world in any way possible. Open the doors to the light. When you're closed, you're the judge, you're the jury. But it's too dark to see. Irrational becomes rational. Worries become the truth. And your fabrication becomes the fabric. Lift the veil that lost you behind. I know you're in there. Sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it's months, but sometimes I see my friend. I know that one of these visits, one of these homecomings, the cycle will break, and again we'll share those smiles that only we understand. In a room full of love, safe and sound. Keep on trying, make us proud.
That was All My Heroes. Sweets in session for us here on Amazing Radio. Sweets is still with us. So, what does the future hold then, Sweets? What have you got up your sleeve for the rest of 2023? Big plans, right?
Big plans, yeah. It's actually a really, really exciting time for me now. Like, I don't know how much I can like say or whatever.
Tell us what you can
but,
tell us.
Basically, I've just like, this is how I'll put it because I actually like have no idea what I'm allowed to say. But I've got the resources to keep going and keep going like at a higher standard for like a couple of years, and I'm really excited to be making like amazing music videos. I love directing music videos, and I love like bringing the music to life like that. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep going, but I'm gonna keep going at a higher standard, and I'm excited.
Good. So does that mean you're going to be having some help from other people as well to propel you on to the next level? Because I guess, you're very independent to this point, but I guess it gets to a certain point where you want to get on that next level. You need, professional help, don't you, really?
Yeah, that's it. Professional help. It's I don't actually know. Like, I feel like I should just say it, but I don't know if
Best not just yet. You can always jump back on for another call some other time, Sweets. And then once you announce something cool, and then I'll give you a DM and I'll be like, this is the thing you were gonna say on the radio station, but you didn't say it yet. So have you got any plans to do any live shows before the end of the year? I mean, what's the live setup? Because I've seen you do some mad live setups. I mean, that goes back to all your different influences and all your different caps that you wear. But what's the plan live for Sweets, the rapper?
So for Sweets the Rapper, we've got October the 14th. I'm playing Beyond the Music Festival in Manchester, which is really exciting because it's going to be my first full set with a full live band. Which
Amazing.
I'm really excited for. I normally just use like the backing tracks, the instrumentals, but yeah, this is my first set with a full live band, and we've just started rehearsals. So anybody who's listening, who's in Manchester and cares about what I have to say, please come through. Beyond the Music, 14th of October.
That's sick. Is there any of the people you did the session with going to be in that band or not? Is it a completely different setup?
So it's like just the drummer. I wanted that exact same band, but the bassist and the guitarist were busy. So
the drummer's sick though. Drummer was sick on the session. So yeah,
he's got like such good ideas, and like the break beats and stuff were so good. But yeah, and then we've got like a different bassist, different guitarist, and someone who can sing a lot better than me who's going to help me with that.
No, that's good. I'm excited for that. So if you're in Manchester around there, get down to that. Sweets, thanks so much for doing this interview and this session. We'll be sharing and playing these for years to come, as we have done your tracks already. Thanks again, and come and speak to us soon when your big news is out there. All right?
Yeah. Thank you, Frankie. Cheers, man.